Hello class 6 students. Robinson Crusoe story. We have come to part 3 of our revision of this poem, and we have seen under what conditions Crusoe was living, and I have said in both the classes that Robinson Crusoe actually lived under very difficult situations, and if you try to imagine that a person who's all alone in an island with nothing but few things that he had managed to gather from the shipwreck, how difficult it would be for him to survive in that island, and he had nobody else to help him out. But still we find that he has kept up that spirit in himself, and the poem that we are studying, Robinson Crusoe story, is actually taken, means few things are taken from the actual novel of Daniel Defoe, and Charles E. Carroll has put the very difficult things in a very funny way. First of all, he is saying that about the tavern, okay, about the cave as the tavern, but the why he is actually saying, means why he is actually saying that is that Crusoe is trying to entertain himself, so that he means otherwise he would die of boredom, means he would not be able to, means he won't find any reason to live even. Then the next thing is, he's saying that I don't need a wife, I can cook myself very well. So why is he saying that? Because nobody else is there. Again, he's saying that the things that I eat are rather tough and dry, and the things that he mentions, that is this parrot gizzards. Gizzard is a stomach, and then what is this? Toasted lizards, and prickly pears, wild fruit, and beetle pie. Nobody will ever means we human beings will never take any of these things as delicacies. But see, the way the poet has put it, it seems that they are very delicious things. It is also a way of means making very serious things in a lighter vein. And he's saying that how he refined his clothes, and how the furry clothes were being eaten away by the moths. And then again he's saying that to bring in some kind of change, some amusement, some kind of entertainment to this life. He goes for picnics with the animals, and what does he do? He takes things like a carrot for the parrot, and again the juice he's referring to it as jungle berry tea. So that was where we stopped the other day. Now he's saying, then we gather as we travel. So whenever we go somewhere, we try to bring something with us as memory. Okay, generally for us we take pictures in that way, but in Crusoe's time, and Crusoe was only the only human being there, and all were animals. So whatever he he would be always in search of certain things which he could use it and make his life a bit comfortable. So what does he say? Bits of moss and dirty gravel, and chips of specimens of stone So maybe, you know, he thought that he could use it to it could come in handy for doing certain things at home, or maybe, you know, as a as a memento. Okay, he would keep it in his cave, so as a piece of decoration in that way. So he would carry bits of moss and dirty gravel and chip of specimens of stone. And what else he would carry? He would carry funny bugs of handy sizes, the size of a it could be handy size, could be size of a hand, or it could also be you know, handy in the sense of being very easily that can be handled very easily in that way. So here let's take it as handy size of a hand. And just to give the day a scientific tone, see, and as I told you, excursion is a word used with educational tool. So he's saying that, you know, it's not just we are going for fun. Okay, we are also trying to collect things, and we are trying to make it very you know, educational in the sense. That's why in the scientific tone means to give it a very serious that is it was means to bring in some seriousness into this you know, outing itself. If the roads are wet and muddy, so generally the roads are wet and muddy during the rainy season, we remain at home and study. We, who are these we? For the goat is clever, very clever at a sum. So goat is doing sums. Okay. And the dog, instead of fighting, studies ornamental writing. So the dog is also doing some writing. Okay. And cat is taking lessons on the drum. So cat is not chasing the mice, or cat is not doing his usual things, but it is trying to play an instrument. So something of these sort you can see in cartoons. Okay. So again, you know, he has used a lot of humor in this particular stanza. And he says that when it's rainy and when it is you know, muddy outside, we remain at home, but we don't he's trying to give an impression that we don't waste time, or these animals don't waste time. They utilize it in a very constructive way. We retire at 11. Retire at 11 means we go to bed at 11 and rise again at 7, means rise in the morning at 7. I wish to call attention as I close, means as I come to the close of my story, to the fact that all the scholars, so he refers to these animals as scholars, are correct about their collars. Scholars means they are very disciplined, very well behaved, and particular in turning out their toes. Turning out their toes means a sleeping posture, and particular means, you know, they are very particular about when they should go to bed, when to rise up. They are particular about all these things. So by these two stanzas we can understand that Crusoe is trying to give us the impression that though these are though they are animals, but Crusoe, though they were animals, but Crusoe always tried to, you know, not tried means he considered them as his children and tried to, you know, educate them as he would do for his children. So this was about the poem. We have done it many times, and hope you will be able to write all the answers in our examination. Thank you.